If you had 5 days to build or fix your tax pipeline inside TaxDome, here is exactly what we would do. Hi, I'm Katie Toscano. I am the co-owner of Cabot in Maine, and we help growing accounting firms build and optimize their workflows inside TaxDome so you can get more done and build a thriving business. So why you might want to pay attention to this video is we know how it goes. It is right now it's October. You are trying to kind of get everything ready ahead of tax season, but the holidays are also coming soon. You might be feeling a little bit extra busy with all the deadlines. You might be feeling tired. You might also be feeling a little anxious about making sure that you can get everything that you want done before the holidays and before tax season. And you probably don't have a ton of time to do it. So what this video is going to walk you through is exactly how you can do this in 5 days. You don't have to do it in 5 days. We do actually have a program that will lay this out in a 4-week program, but you can go at your own pace, go fast, go slow. But this video is going to show you how you can do it in just 5 days. So with that, let's go ahead and dive on in. Okay, so this video is for you whether you have your tax pipelines built out and maybe you just don't love them, or maybe you don't have them built out at all. Maybe you've never used TaxDome, or maybe you have some things in there, but you're not really using the optimized version of TaxDome, how you know it can really help your firm. So let's just start by breaking it up day by day. Okay, day one. This is where you're gonna get a lay of the land. What do you already know about TaxDome and where are your gaps? And write this down. You also wanna know about all of the features, especially if you've been using TaxDome. There are features that are coming out constantly. So do a little bit of research to see what features have come out recently and are you already using them? If not, maybe how do you want to use them? Do you want to use them inside your TaxDome? You really wanna get a good pulse of what you have inside TaxDome and identify what is working and what's not. So this is where you're gonna do a little bit of an analysis to say, okay, here's what I have right now, and maybe it's nothing, and that's okay. And this is what I like, this is what I don't like, these are our gaps, and you're really kind of doing that like current state analysis and identifying where you want to spend your time so you know where you want to improve. Maybe you're struggling with reminders. Maybe you're struggling because you don't have any automations, or maybe you're struggling because you just don't feel like you know enough. Identify what those things are, whether it's for you and whether it's for your team, and start to document that so you can get clarity on what that's going to look like for your firm potentially. Then we want to spend a little bit of time cleaning things up. One thing that we see all the time inside of TaxDomes when we work with our clients is there's a lot of chaos in there. There might be a lot of templates that have been created or downloaded that have never been used. There might be clients in there that are no longer being worked on. So you want to go through and archive a lot of the things that you're no longer using and look at your templates to determine whether or not you even need those in there. You want to be very careful here to not remove things that you could potentially need, but it's definitely worthwhile to spend a little bit of time getting some cleanup done in there. We're still on day one, so once we've done some cleanup, we've identified kind of where we're at right now, we're gonna transition to what do we want? What do we want our pipeline to look like? So we wanna have that idea in our head because tomorrow we're gonna start building on that for day two. But you wanna start to envision what are those areas that you want to pull in because they're important to you or your firm, or you just know that they might help you move the needle. Also in this current state analysis, this is where you're gonna pull together what you have. Do you have an engagement letter that is working? Do you have an organizer that is working? And do they need some updates? So you want to pull together what you have and identify if they need any changes or if they're good to go. So day one is a lot. You definitely want to set aside a good amount of time each day to be able to work on this. And if you have a team, maybe you can identify some of these things for them to do and just make sure that you keep a really good pulse on what everybody is doing. Okay, we have our current state analysis, we know what we have, and we know what we want. Day two, we're gonna start building today. So what we like to do is we pull all of that day one activity together and we start to map out what we want this to look like in a Google Sheet, in an Excel spreadsheet. We have our stages up on top and then we have all of the actions and automations underneath those stages so we can kind of map that out. This is what you're going to want to do for day two. Keep in mind, if you're in our community, we'll help you do this. But if you're doing this on your own, just create a very simple spreadsheet, really easy to do. And we're going to take that and we're going to start to map it out. Once you have mapped it out, we're actually going to go in and we're going to start creating those templates or update the ones you've had. So you're going to start creating or updating your emails, your chats, your engagement letter, your organizer, all of those things. This is where the bulk of your time for day 2 is going to be. This can definitely take a lot of time. So you're going to really want to block out a lot of time on your calendar, especially if you have a team, make sure that you're getting help. You want everyone to be looking at this and make sure you're naming things so that you know that it's been updated. So maybe it's like, updated email or updated whatever, something so you know what you've looked at and what you haven't. You can always change those names later. Once you've created your templates, we're creating our stages and setting our pipeline up. If it's brand new, you want to update your settings, build out your stages. If you're editing what you already have in there, you want to start making those updates. Do be sure that you're not currently working on any clients because you don't, in that pipeline, you don't want to make any changes that could mess that up. You can create a brand new pipeline as well just to make sure that you don't run that risk. So we're building out our stages, we're making sure our settings are good, and those templates you've created, we're going to start adding them into the pipeline. It's not going to be perfect yet because coming up on day 3, we're actually going to take some time to customize that to make sure it fits our needs. But for now, we want to get in our stages and get in those automations and start kind of putting that puzzle together for where you want everything to be. All right. Now we've done that. We've done our current state analysis. We've started building out kind of our map. Day 3 is where we're going to really get specific and customize on what that's going to look like. So we're going to start first by getting your tags ready to go. We often see there's a lot of tags not being used. There might be duplicate tags. Spend some time cleaning your tags up to make sure you have the exact tags that you need and document this in a wiki page. I can't stress that enough. Know what you're using and why, and make sure that you have clarity on exactly what those tags are. Do not remove tags that you're using for another purpose, so make sure that you keep an eye on that. But we want to document our tags because those can be used to really customize and create those conditional automations inside your pipeline. For example, if you have a stage where you are sending out a very specific organizer to your 1040 clients, you want to make sure that you have that 1040 tag and create that conditional automation for your 1040 clients, as opposed to maybe you have an organizer for your 1065s, your 1120s, and you can create that conditional automation for your engagement letter, for your organizer, whatever it is, using those tags. So we're going to kind of clean up those automations and make sure that if we have any customization, we're doing it through those tags. So we have the right tags, and then we're using the right automations inside the pipeline and creating them according to what is needed. We also want to take a look at our extension process here. So some of our clients like to leave this in the pipeline, some like to pull it out, but you can create additional stages for extensions, or you can just create customized automations based on statuses when you need to take a look at filing the extension and then actually file it for your clients. You can build that out inside of your pipeline. So you want to make sure that you build that out and you identify what that's going to look like. I also recommend on day 3, a lot of our clients have what we call paper-based clients. These are the clients, oftentimes they might be older, maybe they're not as tech savvy, or they just don't want to use the client portal as much or anything online. We do like to customize as much as possible within our tax pipeline to say how we want to handle those. So we might have a tag for paper-based clients where maybe we're mailing them things, or maybe they're in office meetings, and customize your pipeline to accommodate those types of clients as well, where it makes sense. And that won't be for everybody, but if you do have those clients and you want to continue to provide a level of service to them, that is where you can really still customize your paper-based clients inside of your pipeline. Okay, so day 3 was all about customizing. Day 4 is going to be about testing. And I know we're going through this quick. So this is why, in our program, we do it actually by week, but you can do it. This is possible. And day 4, we're going to test this out. So if you haven't already, we're going to create a test account with a test contact, which is something that you can access. We have just a literal test email we use every time we're testing these things out. and we will run a job, create a test job, and run it through the pipeline. 99% of the time, we will find something that we need to go in and fix. So we'll fix it, adjust it, and then retest. We also want to identify any training needs for your team here. So one thing that we love to use is we love to use the wiki pages to create an SOP for our pipelines. And then we like to use Loom to screen record whatever it is we're doing and be able to share those videos into the wiki page. If you haven't used Loom before, it's super easy. There's a free version and you can use that link directly into your wiki page to really help your team to identify what they need to do, any nuances, things like that inside of the pipeline. That wiki page can also be automated to pop up in the pipeline as an automation, so your team will have that right in front of them to access anytime they need to. So I do love that feature as well. So once we have tested this out, we have identified what those trainings are going to be for our team or what those gaps are, we've created our wiki page. Day 5 is kind of pulling it all together and making sure our clients are ready to go. So we want to make sure that we're taking a look at our account list and our contacts. We want to make sure all of our tags are updated for those accounts. We want to make sure that if there's any conditional fields that we have updated those. We want to archive anything that is no longer relevant for this coming year. And we want to make sure also that if you're going to be using the roles inside TaxDome, which I love and highly recommend you use, you want to make sure you're updating those roles as well. So we're getting our clients, all up and running. They're cleaned up. They're ready to go. We're going to also go ahead and schedule the recurrence for this pipeline. So even if you aren't starting until, January 21st, whatever the date is, you can schedule that out so you don't have to worry about it, right? Down the line when you're really trying to get up and running, it's already scheduled and they're ready to go. And then as you have new clients pop in from, between now and that date, you can just add those to the recurrence. But you can add them to the recurrence in bulk right now, which will help you down the line. And then lastly, we highly recommend just crafting and scheduling out a tax season kickoff email. This is just something to let your client base know, hey, here's what's coming. You can send it off, either around the holidays, beforehand, even beginning of January, just to give them a heads up of, here's everything coming. You can schedule it in bulk and it's out there and it's ready to go. You can also share any, updates to your firm, anything they need to know. If TaxDome is new to your firm, this is a great chance to let them know what TaxDome is, how to use it. You can provide some links to them, videos that TaxDome provides around, how to use it, use the app, things like that. That is a lot, and I know it, you know it. Again, you don't have to do this in 5 days, but it is possible. And this list, I know I talked through it pretty quickly, but it is going to give you what you need to do now to be ready by tax season, so you're not doing it January 15th. And so, just as a refresher, day 1, we're really doing that current state analysis. We're pulling everything together so we know exactly what we have and what our gaps are. Day 2, we're building out that draft. We're getting our stages, we're building our templates, and we're just going to start kind of puzzling it together. Day 3, this is where we're going to customize for any client nuances, our different entity types, all of that, to make sure that we have a process that fits our different types of clients. We're also going to make sure we're looking at our extension process in day 3. Day 4, we're going to start to test things out, create that test account, those test jobs, and we're going to start identifying those training needs for your team, do some screen recordings, and create some wiki pages to help your team along the way, and yourself too, as you're using this pipeline. And day 5, we're going to get our clients ready. We're going to make sure they're all cleaned up, they're ready to go, and then we're going to schedule everything out. I will say, once again, if this feels like really fast-paced for you, it is, and it's intended to be, right? This is how to do it in 5 days. Again, it's possible. But if you feel like you want to spread that out a little bit, you also maybe want some templates, you want some accountability and a community to help you along the way, we are offering a 4-week cohort where you're going to do this alongside us. We give you all the email, chat, all the templates that you need to build this out, any additional trainings you may need for you or your team. And we're going to do this side by side with you, along with a detailed plan to help you walk through this in 4 weeks instead of 5 days. So we would love for you to join us. It is inside the FutureProof Accountant membership. You can join us at any time. We're going to kickstart this in October, and you can find out how to join us at cabotandlane.com. We hope to see you there, but if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let us know.